What's up everyone, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John and it's time for another installment of Super Underrated Songs, Sum 41 edition. We're going to be taking a look at 7 of their most underappreciated and overlooked gems, and this is the first official episode of Super Underrated Songs being its own thing. I used to do it within the context of my recurring series 7 on Sunday, but now it's going to be its own thing, probably like once a month, so stay tuned for that. Sum 41 have been going since the late 90s. They were formerly known as Casper before kind of evolving into what we now know as Sum 41. I think the band have done a good job at being consistent despite being put through the ringer. Their frontman Derek Whibley especially, my god, the ups and downs of his life. I'm just happy to see them standing tall, like where they are to now. They just released their album Order in Decline and it was great. I'm not going to be putting any songs from that on it because I think it's too new. I don't think that it's had time to be underrated yet, but you get what I'm going for. These of course are not the only underrated songs. I hate that I always have to say that, but some people seem so offended, like, oh my god, these are not the only 7 tracks that are underrated. Obviously, I know that. If you want to see a part 2 in the future for Sum 41, then let me know. Stay tuned for a lot more episodes in the Super Underrated series. Drop a like on this video and subscribe for the love of music. Now let's talk about Sum 41. My first pick is No Brains off of Does This Look Infected that came out in 2002. I love the Offspring leaning vibe that I get from this one. They've leaned into that several times, even recently on Order in Decline. They did that on the People Versus. But here, early on in their career, you could see that they were taking the influences that they grew up on and they were turning it into a gold mine. I love this track. It has some explosive lyrics on it. I love that I Hate You Today, I Can't Find a Way. This song definitely has a lot of pep in its step, but also a big punch behind it. I love the guitars, the lightning quick pacing of certain things. The drumming on this track is impeccable, and then that guitar solo to top it all off. Yes, Brown Sound, thank you. Number 6 is Count Your Last Blessings off of the 2007 album Underclass Hero. This is definitely not a favorite album of mine by any stretch of the phrase, but there were great songs on there like King of Contradiction, the title track Underclass Hero, Walking Disaster, and this tune right here. The ominous opening pianos are just fantastic. It almost feels like you're walking into a horror movie or something, and then it kind of explodes. I like that they keep you on the edge of your seat. It has a dark feeling to it, and you can tell that that chorus really rampages. There was a fire lit within. I think that this is probably the best non-single on the album. It's the one that I come back to the most. The drumming is fantastic here, and overall, if this song's not on your radar, then put it there.
This blood on my hands is a blessing in a lifetime, twisted by desire.
We've got a killer album closer up next. It's Twisted by Design at number 5 off of 13 Voices. This was their comeback album, and while I do feel a bit mixed on the overall quality, tracks like this you cannot deny. This song has an impact, a force behind it, and again, it starts off kind of slow. I love that. The early vocals and the presence of the lyrical content gives you a sense of atmosphere. I love the line, "This blood on my hands is a blessing." The imagery there just brings something to life. It's like, what's going on here? And then the whole idea of the song title, Twisted by Design. The chorus has a stomping feeling to it. It feels confident despite the fact that there's a lot of turmoil going on surrounding the narrator, and I just feel that this track really makes a statement. It's a great way to close out 13 Voices, and I don't hear enough people talking about it.
What happened to me? I don't understand. Seen all I can see as my time expands.
Number 4, Another Time Around off of their EP, yes, EP, not album, Half Hour of Power that came out in 2000. For whatever reason, there is a large debate on whether this is an album or an EP, when even the band themselves sold it and billed it as an EP. It's listed pretty much anywhere, but I always will have my comments flooded with, oh, they actually have 8 albums, when No, it's 7. Sorry, that's just me getting sick of all of those comments that I get, but I do love this song. It's the pinnacle of what early Sum 41 could do. Another Time Around is really catchy. It does feel dated in some ways, but in a way that I can look back with rose-colored glasses and say, look at those times. This definitely screams like late 90s, early 2000s, and it's not totally washed up. There is quality here. I love the hook. The vocals are different. I think that they definitely changed a lot of things between this and All Killer No Filler that came out in 2001, which was their debut album. And this track does have a kind of cataclysmic closer to it. I love the fact that it just uses the whole guitar, drum, bass, breakdown thing, and then they're all playing, and then it just kind of sends out. Sum 41, will you please play this song live again sometime? It has been ages. I spent a lot of time over on setlist.fm researching for this, looking to see what songs they were bringing back into the setlist and which ones they hadn't played in forever. Heart Attack hasn't been played in ages, and I love the hell out of this song, so I had to staple it on here at number 3. This track, to me, has the best sense of chemistry, like on their debut album, outside of the big singles that we probably all know and love, Fat Lip, In Too Deep, even stuff like Rhythms and Summer. This song, Heart Attack, really starts off slow. It makes you think maybe this is going to be a ballad, and then it picks up the tempo, the drums kick in. It's so fun to listen to. This is quality pop punk music, and that hook with those slamming guitars, a great vocal dynamic, and then a little guitar chemistry and flair that they add in after that. In reality, waking up is hard to do. That's the line that's always resonated with me. It's kind of a lazy summer anthem, teenage angst, all that good stuff. The bass line here is actually kind of hooky. It's almost a little bit irresistible. The guitar breakdown on this track is unexpected. It catches me off guard sometimes if I haven't heard the track in a while, but when I come back, I know that I've always got a friend in Heart Attack.
Nothing's gonna change. We're going down in flames. I'm not the one to wait for me, 'cause I won't just sit by.
Number 2, I'm Not the One from Chuck that came out in 2004. There's an interesting idea behind the whole Chuck title, and I talked more about that in my ranked episode. If you haven't seen that yet, then please go tap the card on screen, or else there'll be a link at the end of the video. But I always felt that I'm Not the One is a song that makes you seem like you should be sitting down in your room in your gaming chair playing your PS2 and a racing game is on, something like MX versus ATV Unleashed or Need for Speed. And I know that might sound like a diss on the song, but I promise I intend that as a huge compliment. This track just feels nostalgic. The guitar is very warm, very inviting as soon as you hear those opening notes. I don't know what it is about it, but it definitely screams mid-2000s, but in a way that it's like not tacky, it's not overdone. It's kind of a fist bumper. There's a track that you can easily get behind with some very apparent metal influences. I always thought that Brown Sound did a great job at bringing that to the guitar. And then there's this marvelous breakdown with a lot of shouted vocals, a little guitar flair and solo that's packaged in there. The second half of this song gets even better, and I love the first half, so that's saying a lot. Please forgive me, everyone. You couldn't be mad at this face, right? I had to cheat just a little bit from my number 1 pick because technically it's not one song, it's 3 songs. It's a trilogy of tracks that come together to make a Dark Road Out of Hell. This was featured on Screaming Bloody Murder, and of course the 3 songs are Holy Image of Lies, Sick of Everyone, and Happiness Machine. And what a blast to the emotions, to the gut, and to the music-loving fan, and to the Sum 41 fan. I know that a lot of the hardcore fans are probably celebrating right now, but this album genuinely got overlooked. It's not their best record, but it's also not their worst at all. There is so much quality material here. And this trilogy that comes back to back to back, all of these songs fade perfectly into each other, and the primary one that I want to focus on is Holy Image of Lies. There is a lot of religious imagery used in this track, and I love that this song kind of opens up with a My Chemical Romance Black Parade type vibe. I'm talking like The Sharpest Lives. And this song, I feel, kind of feels manic in a lot of ways. It has an energy about it that shifts around quite often, and I love that it has so many different counterpoints. You can't really predict where this song is going. It feels a bit irrational at times, and they're like, are you going to be able to reel this back in? There's like marching band drums that make you feel like you're about to step into a battle, and then it goes out on a big chaos of guitars, leading perfectly and segueing into the next track, Sick of Everyone. And that one is relentless, especially the energy at the beginning. I feel anger, and then Happiness Machine, of course, cannot be denied either. Derek was going through a divorce with Avril Lavigne at the time, a lot of personal demons, as I mentioned, and this trilogy is so underrated, especially Holy Image of Lies. I can't get enough of that song lately. When it comes to super underrated Sum 41 songs, what do you guys think deserve the most credit? Let me know in the comments section down below. Let me know what you thought of my list. What would you add? What would you subtract possibly? I would love to hear from you in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like on the video while you're here. Thank you for watching. There's more Sum 41 content on the channel. Make sure to check that out. I reviewed Order in Decline, and I did Sum 41 Ranked in addition to a top 10 countdown. If you don't want to miss out on all of that and more, then hit that subscribe button directly below me and ring the bell so you get notified when I upload. I don't just talk about Sum 41, I talk about all sorts of music here on the channel. I hope that you guys have been enjoying these. Anyways, if you want to see another super underrated countdown, then tap here or tap here for another one of those Sum 41 videos. I'll see you soon for more right here on ARTV.